Hashtag Chicago Girl, the social network, takes on a dictator. It's the name of the film at SIF. It documents how a 19-year-old uses her social media skills to help organize protesters trying to overthrow the Assad regime. This is Joe's directorial debut. He's done a bunch of other stuff. Didn't you do, like, cartoons, Joe?
I did. I wrote Underdog, the movie for Disney, and I've done rewrites on a lot of the kind of big animated movies in Hollywood. So this is definitely a departure from what I normally do.
This is an important movie, I think, because we always talk about the effects of social media on our society, on us individually, and whether it serves a deeper, greater purpose, or whether it's fluff and people taking pictures of the meals they eat, and you know, it's a family sharing pictures, and a lot of people post annoying stuff. I got up, I had breakfast, and yet here's a real example of social media having an amazing effect, and it's happened several times in the Middle East, hasn't it, Joe?
It has. It's something that drew me to this subject matter was I was watching these kids, whether it be our protagonist, Ala, in Chicago, and the pockets of her social network students on the ground in Syria that the film follows as well. And here they are, you know, what do I use Facebook for and the internet for? Get a good deal on sneakers, find old friends on Facebook, and they're using it in a way to, you know, they want to bring down their government.
Yeah. I mean, no offense, if you're using Facebook to like Red Lobster, which is a fine fast food chain.
You got a problem with Cheddar Bay biscuits?
But I mean, you're not changing the world. So tell me about this girl, Ala, now. She, her name is Ala, but it's got an apostrophe in the middle of it, doesn't it?
It does. That's just the way it's spelled, but it's pronounced Ala.
And is she named after Allah?
No, she isn't. It's just it's a common name.
Is she? So what are her parents like? People are named lots of interesting things these days. So how did the name come about?
You know, I don't know why her parents named her that. Okay. Yeah, she was born in Syria but moved here when she was about a year old. So for all intents and purposes, she's an American teen.
She's an American teen, been here since she was 1 year old. And what gave her the idea?
You know, she had gone to a protest in Washington, D.C., and it was early on in the Syrian Revolution, and at the time the Libyan Revolution was going on, and the media was covering the Libyan protest that was right next door, and they weren't covering the Syrian one, and she thought, why do people care about that one and not ours? And so she started doing some translations for people on the ground in Syria just within her social network.
Because she's bilingual.
She is, yes.
Okay, so she had the tools, she had the ability to make a difference.
Yeah. And one of the first things she started doing was she noticed that all of their banners that they would carry were all in Arabic. Well, to an American audience and to a Western audience, we don't read Arabic.
Wow.
And so she realized they could make a bigger impact, you know, in their YouTube videos.
Want the world to notice you?
Yep.
Do this in English.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Now, wasn't she also influenced by? There was another revolution where a video went viral and it caused. Which one was that?
That was the Tunisian Revolution.
The Tunisian guy, didn't he like set himself on fire or something?
He did. Yes.
That was the most horrible thing. And was that the first big social media created an uprising in the Middle East?
It really was. I mean,
what was the end result of that?
Well, I mean, they overthrew their government there, but you know, as we're seeing in all of these, you know, sort of social media driven revolutions, it's a long road. I mean,
it's a long road because the new guys may meet the new boss same as the old boss. They may not be any better. Sometimes the military takes over, and you wish they had the evil dictator back, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and something that this film really focuses on is it's not enough just to click like on Facebook or to post on Facebook. It's got to be a combination of using these powerful tools to organize, but you also have to be willing to, you know, to activate and to go into the streets.
Was Chicago Girl ever in any danger?
She was. She, in fact, that's where the title comes from. She received a death threat from the Syrian regime that was actually posted to her Facebook wall. And
so a dictator posts, I don't know if the term fatwa applies exactly in this, but posts the death threat on her Facebook page.
Yeah.
So the dictator is on. I wonder what he had for breakfast.
Yep.
I wonder what he
artichoke and egg scramble.
Yeah. I mean, can you go to the dictator's Facebook page?
No, he does not have one.
Oh, okay.
Assad's Facebook page isn't the...
I'm not sure that's
Assad.
actually him. I'm sure there is one.
2 likes!
Apparently he's feeling sad today.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So, okay. So did she... Now, was she petrified?
She was. And, you know, her
I would be, too.
Yeah, as
and her parents freaked out. Yeah.
But at the same time, she also, you know, she knows this is her cause, and she isn't afraid. And... you know, she looks at her friends who are on the ground in Syria and knows that they're in greater danger. So this
all right,
is what
now
she
this
can do.
is the part that's I can't wait to see in the movie. does she go to Syria and smuggle cameras? And how did you get Syrian foot? How did this work?
Well, when she does go in,
She
and
goes to Syria.
She does, and that is
Scary.
very scary.
After the death threat.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
and that's a story all unto itself. I mean, she has to fly to Turkey. She has to cross a minefield to sneak in across the border.
Are you following her with reality show like cameras? Are you like the movie? Are you chronicling all of this?
No, that's just the very tail end of the film.
Okay, got it. And then you also have a lot of footage from Syria. And I read this. You smuggled in iPhones to shoot video footage.
We did. We had our cameraman. We were able to smuggle him in an iPhone and a really nice camera. And he was a Fulbright scholar from Syracuse, but he was Syrian. And when the revolution started, he decided this is what I got to go do. So he went back, and his role was, I'm going to show the world what's going on.
So the movie has real footage of the revolution.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Not caused by, but assisted in a big way by this girl in Chicago.
Absolutely.
Hashtag Chicago girl. Yes, Joe.
You spent a couple years on this film, and I'm wondering if you thought when you started making the movie and when the revolution started, if Assad would be long gone by now. We're coming up on another presidential election. He'll probably get elected with a 90-something% majority, and while the Ukraine has knocked Syria off the front page of our U.S. newspapers, there's still a revolution going on, but they haven't got rid of him yet. Does that surprise you?
It does surprise me because when we started the film, we had envisioned we would get that great shot at the end when they were victorious. And obviously that hasn't happened yet, but
and the film festival is now, so you had to finish the film.
Right.
Well, there's potential of a sequel.
Absolutely.
So, all right, you're a guy with some documentary. I mean, you have some resume filmmaking, granted with cartoons. How do you go from underdog to underdog in a revolution, really, with real people? And is this a passion project for you for some reason?
It became a passion project for me. It was a project that kind of fell into my lap, and it was a story that I loved, and I was able to raise the financing pretty easily with it. And I thought, I'll do this on the side. I can do it, fairly quickly. And everybody told me these things are all consuming, and of course that's what it became. But I'm immensely proud of it.
A side project that turned into a big film. Now, we've had Danny Boyle sitting in that chair after he did Slumdog Millionaire saying, I hope a few people watch this. I mean, literally, most people will probably pass this by because it's, it's kind of a serious thing.
It's unpleasant. I mean,
it's unpleasant, and they'll think, it's like a foreign film, and they won't see it. Do you? What's the possibility for this film? What do you think?
We've had a great run in Europe so far, and here in Seattle is the first time we're showing it to a U.S. audience.
First United States audience.
Yes.
Seattle International Film Festival. Where do you see it? You see it Tuesday at 4 o'clock at SIF Cinema Uptown. And is Chicago? Where is Chicago Girl today?
She's probably still at the hotel.
She's here in town.
She's here. She'll be at the screening.
So she'll be. Will she get up and say a few words?
Yeah, she does a Q&A afterwards, and she sits around and meets and greets afterwards.
That's exciting.
What else does she do on? Can I go to her Facebook page? Can we like her today?
Yeah, absolutely.
She's still on Facebook.
She's still on Facebook.
Damn.
Hey, Pedro.
Yeah.
Let's have our audience at least be aware of Chicago Girl, so they can.
Does Ala have family still in Syria? I mean, how does she get a ground network? I mean, were these students who used to be here that went back there? I mean, how do you get a friends or a family network in Syria?
She had some friends over there and family friends and whatnot, and then your network starts to grow. Once people start to trust her, then other people start to trust her, and so they realize there's somebody that can really help us out, and your network starts to grow exponentially.
So did you go to Syria too?
I did not go to Syria.
I stayed safely here and directed things from afar.
Yes, I'm a hashtag LA boy. It's not as exciting a film,
well,
but
there's
it's
so
safe.
much work to do here, and editing and planning and all of that. When you got the footage back from Syria and you were putting this all together, I don't know. Do you have a wife and kids? Do you have a family here?
I do, yes.
Did it make you love your life more?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm still in contact with a lot of these people who are on the ground there. And every day, I check in with some of them. And it's heartbreaking what they're going through. And yet they all have hope, and they all, want the same things that we all want, which is just freedom in their country.
And this is like you said, a passion project. You did get a lot of funding from people to help you out, but I'm sure you're not making what you're used to making in Hollywood doing
Doesn't
this.
pay underdog money.
Yeah.
Does
Just talking dog movies pay a little more.
Do you have are you working on Godzilla 2 next, or do you have
Yeah.
something a little more conventional coming up after this?
Oh, I'm sure my agent is pushing me towards that, but we'll see. The documentary bug bit me. I mean,
Really?
I really enjoyed making it. I like making a film that I feel like can raise awareness and make a difference.
Yeah, I like making the same old crap that everybody else puts out
Yeah.
and then making a good paycheck for it. That's
What
my
about
pick.
Fast and Furious 9?
Fast and
How about
Furious
that?
12, 13, 14. That's interesting. What have you thought of another documentary? Like, what would you like to do an expose on?
You know, I would like to do something looking at the medical world and sort of treatments for diseases like cancer and whatnot, and why some of these experimental treatments are so hard to get out in the United States. And
Yeah, we will do them elsewhere. But isn't part of that because in case they go bad, we don't want a Rwanda thing to happen right here in Chicago?
yeah,
That is it, isn't it?
Yeah.
On the other hand, when you got people that are terminal anyway and they want to try an experimental treatment.
Are you going to focus on medical marijuana at all?
No, I don't think I'm going to get into that.
Okay, I was going to say
'Cause
here's
that might
a-
work,
that's a good
but-
place.
I'll leave it to you folks in Seattle.
Call
Thank
us.
you.
Call
Lots
us if
of
you
research
need.
going on
Call
in
us
the
if you
show.
need a social ground network for
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Okay, because there's a big thing going on here.
That's a legitimate question I just asked.
Joe Piscatella. Joe, thank you very much. I will be there. I want to see it. Tuesday at 4. I might have to catch a different screening, but I'm going to watch the movie. I
Sounds
think
good.
it's really important. And you can go, folks, and meet Chicago Girl. Tuesday, 4 o'clock, SIF Cinema, Uptown. Kids don't